can't believe I have to do another video on Larry the Batman fan, but here we go. But what's up, everyone? Zach here. So in this video, I wanted to deliver a message to Larry the Batman fan. Now this video, I don't plan on being as harsh as my previous videos on Larry. As you can see by the title, I respectfully disagree. I'm going to try my best to be respectful towards Larry in this video. Even though I do have my complaints, and obviously, again, as the title says, I disagree on some things. I disagree with a lot of things that Larry says and does. You know, and Larry is someone that I thought I could get along with since, you know, he claims to be a Christian person, you know, and I do myself, which I know that Larry says he has doubts about. I haven't forgotten about that. Yeah, Larry says that he doesn't believe that I'm really a believer or a Christian or whatever, which I'm going to go ahead and get this out of the way. Screw you for that, Larry, seriously. And why is it that you believe that? Just because I believe that, you know, there's nothing wrong with watching R-rated movies or celebrating Halloween, which is the thing that we will get into here. Well, just because I believe it's okay to do that doesn't mean I believe it's okay to do just whatever, because that's what Larry thinks about me. He thinks that I have this mindset that everybody should just be able to do what they want. Now, to some extent, yes. Within reason, yes. You know, as long as, you know, it's not anything crazy or actually objectively immoral or whatever, you know, it's just basic stuff, you know? But I wanted to go into the subject that Larry seems to bring up sometimes about the holiday Halloween. So Larry believes that Halloween is a demonic holiday and that Christians shouldn't celebrate it and that Christians should just keep away from it as far as they can, basically. And I know that a lot of Christians do believe this stuff about Halloween. I do get that. I do. And I understand that a lot of individuals look at the outward appearance of Halloween. Like, when you think of Halloween, you think of, like, what do you think of? You think of, like, pumpkins and ghosts and skeletons. Spooky stuff, basically. And they judge the holiday based on all these outward appearances and think, oh, yep, you know, the light shouldn't associate with the dark, so, yep, stay away from that. Stay away from that as far as you can, basically. But I think there's more to it than that. I don't think that there's anything wrong with being into stuff that's a little more spooky. You know what I'm saying? Like, because there's even some Christians that are into horror films. You know? So I don't really see anything wrong with that. And, you know, you think about horror films too. Most of the stories in horror movies, the good guy wins. You know, the person that's being chased by the killer or the person that's trying to overcome this evil usually outcomes it by the end of the film. I'd say that has a pretty positive message, a pretty Christian message, might I add. You know? I just don't see what the big deal is with Halloween, though. You know, I don't agree that it's a demonic holiday and that Christians shouldn't celebrate it. I'm sorry, but I don't agree with that, Larry. Now, I don't plan on making this too long of a video or what have you, but there was one other thing that I did want to go over here. And I know that Larry got mad at me before for bringing this up. And Larry, look, I'm not trying to be disrespectful whenever I bring this up. I'm really genuinely not, okay? So please don't take it that way. Like I said, I'm trying to be as respectful as I can be. But I want to go over my thoughts on this, though. And it actually involves Larry's adopted mother. I don't know, Larry, if she's the reason you believe what you believe because she has that much influence on you and she told you that all R-rated movies are bad and that Halloween is bad and all this and that, you know? Like, she's the reason you believe all this stuff. Now listen, I understand the power of influence that our parents have on us. I totally get it, because guess what? I know from experience. You know, there were things that I used to believe just because my late mother believed it and taught me and my siblings to believe it. And then I got to a point in my life where I had to think, wait a second, I'm not really thinking for myself. You know, like, is this really what I believe? You know, like, you kind of have to be the same way, Larry. You have to think, is this really what I believe, or am I being trained to believe this? All right? It's all stuff to keep in mind, okay? So once again, Larry, I'm not going to bash you or anything, but when it comes to Halloween, I don't agree with your take on it. And of course, I don't agree with your take on all R-rated movies as well. You say all R-rated movies curse God and all that, which is not necessarily true. But whatever, you can have your stance on it. And look, that's the thing too. You can have your stance on things. Like, you can think that all R-rated movies are bad, and you could think that Halloween is bad. You could think whatever you want, you know? You have the freedom to choose what you want to watch, celebrate, listen to, etc. You have that choice. But don't make it everyone else's duty to stay away from that stuff because you feel like you have to, because you have to stay away from it. Not everyone's going to agree with you, Larry. Not everyone's going to be on the same path as you. And as a true Christian man that you claim that you say that you are, you should know that not everyone is on the same path in life. Not everyone's the same, Larry. Not everyone's the same. Okay? So I just wanted to deliver this message to Larry. So Larry, I hope that you would be able to keep all of this in mind and just understand what I'm trying to say here. Okay? So that'll be all. Thank you for watching.